Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something you literally use every single day, but, probably never really stop to think about. Money. It's kind of like an everyday magic trick hiding right there in your pocket. It takes the shape of paper bills, plastic cards, or sometimes just invisible numbers floating on a screen. But what actually is it? Where did it come from? And why do we all just agree that a green piece of paper is somehow worth a brand new toy or a delicious pizza? Well, let's dive right in and figure it out. Okay, picture this. Imagine walking into a store, grabbing the latest, most awesome video game, taking it up to the counter, and trying to hand the cashier a live, feathery, clucking chicken to pay for it. I mean, the cashier would probably stare at you like you just landed from Mars, right? It sounds completely ridiculous to us today, but believe it or not, a long, long time ago, that was basically how the entire world worked.
Section 1. Trading chickens for shoes.
So, long before dollar bills or credit cards were a thing, people obviously still needed clothes, food, and tools to survive. So they had to use a somewhat tricky system called bartering. Basically, trading what you had for what you needed. Let's say you're a fantastic chicken farmer. You've got plenty of birds, but winter's coming and your feet are freezing. You really need some shiny new shoes. So you pack up your best chicken, march over to the local shoemaker, and offer your trade. 1 chicken for 1 pair of shoes. But the shoemaker just crosses his arms and says, nope, he doesn't want chickens, he already has plenty of chickens. He tells you he only wants yummy red apples. Suddenly, you've got a major problem on your hands.
Which brings us to Section 2, the double coincidence problem. Now, this incredibly frustrating situation wasn't just some rare accident. It literally happened all the time. In economics, this annoying roadblock is known as the double coincidence of wants, which sounds super complicated, but it simply means both people have to want exactly what the other person is holding right at that very moment. A total miracle basically has to happen, where you miraculously want my chicken and I magically want your shoes on the exact same day. If our wants don't perfectly match up, the trade falls apart, nobody gets what they need, and you have to walk all the way home with freezing feet and a very confused chicken. Section 3. Heavy gold coins. To fix this endless headache of matching up trades, people realized they needed a sort of middleman item, something that absolutely everyone in town would agree is valuable. And they chose shiny gold. It magically solved the chicken and shoe problem because, well, everybody accepted it. The shoemaker gladly took the gold for his shoes, knowing he could just use that gold later to buy his apples. But fixing that one problem created a brand new one. Gold is really, really heavy to carry around. Just imagine trying to buy a whole cart full of groceries, or maybe a horse and having to drag heavy, clinking bags of rocks around town. It's absolutely exhausting, and honestly, pretty dangerous if robbers are watching.
Section 4. Paper receipts and IOUs.
Because nobody wanted to build giant muscles just to go shopping for bread, people invented a brilliant lightweight upgrade. Just think about how this clever 3-step process worked. Instead of carrying heavy metal in your pockets, you take your gold and lock it safely inside a giant heavy vault guarded by a goldsmith, kind of like an early version of a bank. In exchange, the goldsmith would hand you a lightweight, tiny paper receipt proving that the gold in the vault actually belonged to you. Then, instead of going to the store and handing over physical rocks, you just trade that easy-to-carry paper receipt with your friends and the local merchants. The shoemaker happily accepted the paper because he knew he could walk over to the vault absolutely anytime and trade it back for the real gold. So, that's right, the paper bills you see in wallets today, they actually started as simple IOU receipts for real gold. And eventually, people realized they never actually needed to go back to the safe to get the gold at all. It was just way easier to keep trading the paper IOUs forever.
Let's just pause for a second and look at this amazing evolution. I mean, we moved from the messy barter system of trading live chickens to upgrading to heavy gold coins to make trades universally accepted. Then we leveled up again to lightweight paper receipts. And that long journey leads us directly to the craziest, most futuristic step of all, the one you and I are actually living in right now.
Section 5. Invisible Digital Bank Code. Today, we've practically solved the problem of carrying anything physical at all by moving completely into the digital age. Now, this might blow your mind a little bit, but at the end of the day, money isn't really the paper, and it isn't really the gold. Money is just an invisible scoreboard keeping track of trades. Think of it exactly like the scoreboard at a soccer game. The points on the board aren't physical objects you can hold in your hand, right? They just represent what happened on the field. Money is just a giant technology we use to keep a running score of who gave value and who gets to take value. And because it's just a scoreboard, we can update it instantly using computers. When your parents buy something online with a plastic card or tap their phone at the checkout, there are absolutely no heavy bags of gold moving across the city. There are no paper receipts being handed over. They're just telling a bank's computer to instantly move some invisible digital code from their score over to the store's score. The numbers just magically change on a screen. It's wild. So, knowing that money isn't this solid, unchanging thing, but actually just an invention we constantly update to make our lives easier, it really makes you wonder what comes next. We went from heavy gold all the way to invisible digital code. What wild, futuristic version of money are we going to invent tomorrow? Will we pay for things by just blinking our eyes, or maybe trade space credits with our smartwatches? Whatever it is, I can promise you one thing for sure. It totally beats carrying around a chicken. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it changed how you see the world, and I'll catch you on the next one.